And joining me again tonight are two experts on the United States Senate. They are Elizabeth Chris. She's a 26-year veteran of the upper chamber, having served as the Republican Senate Secretary during the impeachment trial of President Bill Clinton. And Melody Barnes of the University of Virginia's Democracy Initiative, Miller Center, and Law School. She was chief counsel to the late Massachusetts Senator Edward Kennedy when she helped broker the rules for President Clinton's impeachment trial. Welcome again to both of you. Very good to have you with us. Melody Barnes, to you first. How do you assess the overall, the strength of the case made by the impeachment managers, and in particular this focus on not just on punishing former President Trump, but on making sure that this doesn't happen again?
Well, first of all, it's great to be with you, Judy, and to be with Elizabeth again. I think it was another very strong day for the House managers. They felt like that A student that was extremely well prepared and wanted to get everything in the report that they shared with the teacher and shared with the class. But I think it's because they believe that they have a real uphill battle to persuade the number of Republicans and make sure that Democrats feel that they have the evidence that they need to convict the former president. I also think that they played to the senators' sense that they are the upper body. I mean, you just referred to the upper chamber, that they, at least in the past, there was a sense of a club, for better or for worse, and the sense of what happened to their staff, what happened to the Capitol Police, what happened to the Capitol itself. I think they wanted to wrap all of those things together and then to point the senators towards the future. This isn't just about punishment. This is about prevention. This is about the Constitution. I think about Raskin's wrap up when he told them to think about what this meant for democracy.
And Elizabeth Chris, how would you size up the presentation by the impeachment managers?
Well, I think they made a strong case about Senate jurisdiction, but I think they were weak on the president being responsible for January 6th, and they were also weak on him violating his oath of office. And let me say this, Judy, I think there were way too many references to Trump's mob or to Trump's armed insurrectionists. It made it feel like, to me, it was a political exercise, maybe to shore up what might be a rocky 2022 midterm elections. Those midterm elections are usually pretty brutal when it comes to the president's party, averaging sometimes as many as 30 losses. So I sort of felt like it might be a little bit like that. I would agree with Melody, though. Maybe we could figure out a way for this not to happen again. Maybe the president's lawyers could mention that there should be a blue ribbon panel, a commission that could study what security, how did this happen? How did the security fall down? What to do to make sure this doesn't happen in the future. And I really hope the president's lawyers condemn the violence as strong as possible. And I'm expecting them to bring up other members of Congress's words that are also inflammatory. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And right. It wouldn't surprise me if they were Democratic members.
And Melody Barnes, is there something to be? I mean, Elizabeth's point that maybe this was too political, that they tried to call it Trump's mob too many times, and in connection with that, how good a job did they do of anticipating what the pushback, the defense is going to be tomorrow?
Well, a couple of things. I believe that the references to Trump's mob were in part because they were starting to lay the groundwork to create an unfriendly environment for the arguments that former President Trump's lawyers plan to make tomorrow, and connecting the dots between everything that's happened and the fact that person after person, individuals who have now been arrested, the arguments that their lawyers are making to defend them that indicate that they were there because the former president called them to be there. And I don't think that you can look at the tape, look at that security footage from yesterday and not refer to this as a mob or as a riot or as an insurrection. But in addition to that, I think that they were making the arguments that they knew were going to be raised tomorrow both about the First Amendment issues that have been addressed by the best of the legal community from the left and from the right, as well as this incitement argument, and working their way through the elements and connecting that to the words that and to the tapes and to the information that we've all now seen over the last 2 days, and to make sure that people understand that not only are we looking at the facts, not only is this a horrible thing, but this also meets the elements of incitement that they want to prove based on the article of impeachment that was brought before the Senate.
Elizabeth Christ, I'd like for you to comment on any of that, but I'm also curious to know, you are a Republican, you've worked for Republicans in the Senate. Do you think what we've heard and seen over the last 2 days does damage to former President Trump?
There's no doubt this will damage him some. There is no doubt about that. There are going to be people all throughout history that are going to say that this was something that he caused, or he certainly could have foreseen it, stopped it, slowed it down, all of those things. Will it drive a wedge between some Republican senators seeking re-election and their base or some of their voters? There will probably be issues after they have their vote, after they conduct their vote on whether this to be guilty or not, that this will cause issues with them. But again, I think the connecting of the dots by the House leadership, the House managers, was a little over the top. And again, I mentioned this many times. Members of Congress are so worried about social media posts or a picture or anything like that going viral and really harming them. And I think in a lot of cases, they could take a lot of what happened as far as some of the video that was shown, and then some of the posts and some of the awful language and all of that was said all during it in the video that was shown, to be more of this, oh, this is this viral stuff. So I think it hit home with them. It was certainly very, very emotional. But overall, I think that tomorrow will be a better day for the president, hopefully. And if all is right, they will wrap up in one day and we will have some kind of vote Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening.
Well, we are so glad to have the two of you watching along with us. Elizabeth Christ, Melody Barnes, we thank you both very much.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.